ragazzi, questa scena l'avevamo già vista. Siamo all'interno della villa degli Hawkins. Io vi ricordo che questo è Biscottini e vi ricordo che questo è Call of Cthulhu, che tra l'altro ci sta prendendo assai bene. Se non vedete ancora qualche registrazione degli altri video, le spiegazioni vorrei darvele, ma dovrei ripeterle sotto ogni video, diventerei veramente noioso. Quindi riprendiamo questa storia e io vi ricordo che qua sotto, tra le informazioni di questo video, trovate la playlist dove potete seguire tutti i video e poi
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Ok. Parla con Bradley.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
Beh, in
The night we
effetti...
went into the Hawkins mansion.
Ma siamo sicuri che
You
sia
don't seem to
lui?
remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Ho capito, però lui è un po' restio e così non... Vabbè,
I met Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
lo chiamava
I
l'errante.
didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Io starei sul
You're right.
prudente.
Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my
Allora,
best.
come vedete, se andate tra l'altro tra i vari personaggi, lui dirà che attenzione, insomma vi darà qualche informazione in più. Tra l'altro, aspettate un attimo, culto. Piano piano arriviamo a... Ok, partita salvata. Parla con la vedova di Sanders.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on
Ok,
this
come faccio a
island.
parlare con la vedova di Sanders? Ok. Residenza dei Sanders, capitolo 6. Pierce, Colden e Bradley hanno deciso di unire le forze per risolvere il caso di Sarah Hawkins. Hanno una nuova pista da seguire, quella di Francis Sanders, collezionista d'arte e amica della pittrice, che è morto proprio sotto gli occhi di Pierce. L'investigatore decide di recarsi dalla vedova del collezionista per parlare dell'errante che il suo sventurato marito ha menzionato prima di morire.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband.
Il
His ties to
sincrono non
Sarah
è proprio
Hawkins.
perfetto.
Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective.
Yeah.
My island.
La mia
It's better
isla.
that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable.
Do
It
you
would seem
make
that you have
yourself
much to tell me.
Vuole. Vediamo cosa c'è da dire questa.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Ma gli diciamo la verità.
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he?
La vita
Were
è
you
più
present
amica.
when he had this attack? What happened?
Allora, che gli diciamo? Proviamo con questo. non deve
What
essere
happened to
sicuro.
your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything
Beh,
to help?
questi sono dubbi leciti se ci pensate. Perché proprio nell'istituto? Perché è successo questo? In effetti, vabbè, condivido il suo dolore ma non c'entro nulla. Il vero colpevole è fuori. Boh, non so, già incolpare qualcuno non mi
It's
piace.
terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller
In
does
effetti,
do
dice, ma
miracles
sei,
now and
sei
again.
qua.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Mamma mia, mi sta cacciando. L'ha mai parlato?
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
Incredibile.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders.
Quindi possiamo andare a
won't be
vederlo.
long.
E vai. E possiamo anche... Partita salvata, e possiamo anche guardare un po' di roba qua, o sbaglio? Vedere non dire...
Did she really care for him after all?
Gentile signora, le confermo di aver ricevuto la lettera in cui mi richiede la cessione del corpo del suo defunto marito. Mi rincresce informarla che non posso consentire a consegnarle la salma. Al momento del suo internamento, lei ha firmato una liberatoria che mi permette di disfarmi del corpo nel modo che ritengo più opportuno. Addirittura, che cazzo. Le rinnovo le mie più sentite condoglianze. Quindi, insomma, il fatto che fosse stato accartocciato non giocherà a nostro favore, diciamo così.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Minchia, sorrideva, guardatela qui. Ok. Possiamo già ricostruire, ragazzi. Ok. Vediamo. La tazzina e la chiave di...
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Ok.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler.
Finalmente.
Finally.
Quindi
What
l'errante.
did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Cosa c'è che Sarah Hawkins temeva così tanto? Beh, in effetti, ragazzi, già a vedere dal suo ritratto, scusa, onestamente io non gli avrei comprato neanche una carta igienica.
A house of artists.
Una casa di artisti, beh. Non mi...
A house of artists.
Ah, è lui. House of Artist, eccolo qua.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? He didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Questa qui
She
ciao.
despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
Ah, così?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Ed eccola qui, ok. Vediamo qui. Oh, che bello. Jay. Piano piano, piano piano. Possiamo fare investigazione di 2, però anche questo, psicologia, eloquenza, 40, 50, 60. Tiriamo sul fiuto. 50, 50, 50. Ok. Convalida. Convalida. Cerco di portarli su contemporaneamente, poi ditemi se effettivamente...
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
In effetti. Questo qui prima o poi riuscirò a sentirlo. Qui non si può. Dove cazzo è lo studio?
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Ok. L'elefante è un dipinto. Lei lo odia. Ok, vabbè, ci sta. Vuoi leggere il libro? Una sorta di enciclopedia su creature mostruose e sconosciute. Inizia a pensare che esistano davvero.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others.
Io non...
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
All's fair in love
Non
and war,
voglio
I
tipo
suppose.
zipittarla al minimo. Ok, nuovo oggetto, chiave della galleria di Sander. Oh, finalmente. Voilà. Siamo alla galleria. Figa, quant'arte veramente brutta, posso dirlo. Eccolo lì che...
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery. What the hell was that? I can't even touch it.
Ma come faccio a uscire? Oh mio Dio, sto andando in panico. Sto andando in panico.
No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it.
Come faccio a smezzarmi? Come faccio? Raga, qualcuno ha un'idea? Come cazzo faccio? Cioè, no, veramente... Vediamo se riusciamo, se no... Cioè non capisco proprio... Ah, me ne sono perso.
What the hell was that?
Io provo ad andare direttamente. Tocca. Ragazzi. Ci provo un'ultima volta proprio così perché... Giusto per chiudere con una... fallimento, però... Secondo me dobbiamo toccare il quadro. È un bel problema, raga. Cazzo, ci ho fatto vedere. Proviamo,
That thing came out of this painting. There has to be. Maybe if I destroy it. Oh God.
Vabbè ragazzi, dobbiamo distruggerlo. Il parlò. Farò un paio di tentativi.